When we set out to build an entirely new type of motorcycle, we looked everywhere for inspiration, except to convention. The 113 cubic inch fuel-injected Star Roadliner. We build it, you make it your own. Exclusively at your Yamaha dealer.
See the entire Star motorcycle line at Friendly Yamaha in Baton Rouge. At Friendly, we take our name seriously.
I'm Sandy Michelet, and you're watching LaRider, Louisiana's premier motorcycle magazine show. We know there's something very special about riding a motorcycle. The open road, the wind in our face, all the beautiful sights. And T.W. Robinson tells us that it doesn't matter whether you're riding around the block or cross country to your favorite penitentiary. Wait a minute, penitentiary?
Now, I have to admit, when someone suggested a ride to Angola for fun, I thought, this has to be the beginning of yet another blonde joke. But I have to say, of all the rides I've taken in Louisiana, this is definitely one of the most interesting. And that is no joke. For me, a good ride consists of three important components: good roads, great scenery, and of course, an interesting destination. As I headed up US 61 from Baton Rouge toward St. Francisville, I knew this ride had two of those elements already. US 61 north of the capital city is a pleasure to ride, at least once you get past the petrochemical plants. And LA 66, which I would be taking to Angola, is also a beauty. It was my ultimate destination that still had me a little worried. After all, the state penitentiary at Angola seemed like an unlikely place for a lone female rider to be headed. But for now, I decided to settle back and enjoy a beautiful day and a great ride. As I headed west on LA 66 and the last 20 miles of my journey, I was struck with the absolute beauty of this ride through the Tunica Hills. I was also struck with the irony that this beautiful scenery is the last view of the outside world that prisoners see as they head for the state's maximum security prison. As I rode along, I tried to imagine just what would I be thinking if this was my final glimpse of the free world for many years to come. Well, lucky for me, I would be headed back down this road in a few hours. The ride is sort of like heading to the beach. After a while, the trees simply open up, and there it is, sprawling out before you, the Louisiana State Penitentiary. And just outside the gate, on the right-hand side of the road, the museum I had heard so much about.
Angola was originally a slave plantation.
Dora Rabelais, the museum historian, took me on a tour. Dora, like most of the folks here, has worked at Angola most of her life.
As you can see, the prison itself is surrounded on three sides by the Mississippi River.
The first thing we learned is just how big Angola is. 18,000 acres of rich Mississippi Delta farmland. A walk through the museum is like a walk through the prison itself. There are photos of a cell block that gave me vertigo, and a prison cell that you can actually enter. There are also exhibits on the weapons of Angola, both the captors and the captives. Prisoners, you learn, are an industrious lot. Many men live out their lives at Angola, and you can see the simple coffins the inmates make for their funerals. Billy Graham was so impressed with their simplicity and beauty that he ordered two. His wife was recently buried in one of them. Some men, intent on not dying here, have tried to escape. There are exhibits on that too. And then there's Old Sparky. and a somewhat chilling display of photos of all the men who have met their final fate in this chair. And believe it or not, there is an exhibit featuring some of Angola's most famous inmates, including country and western star Freddie Fender, who penned Wasted Days and Wasted Nights while serving out a drug sentence here. There's really so much to see here that we really don't have time to show it all. And then there's the prison itself. Okay, I'm picking cotton on my day in prison. Let's see, I want the perfect one. Let me look and see. I'm not sure how to pick this, but this looks like a good one. Woo! Boy, that was hard to get off there. I don't think I'd want to do this all day long. A souvenir from my prison days. And we'll have more on that next week.